How does ESPN roll when we come to Vegas? Over 250 professional bowlers from 14 different countries, bowling on 5 different oil patterns, have invaded Las Vegas to be part of an event unlike any other in sports, the PBA World Series of Bowling. The World Series is the ultimate test for the greatest names in the game. 6 Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour titles on the line with a champion crowned each week. It all leads up to the main event, January's PBA World Championship, the first major of the season. It's the PBA versus the rest of the world, and it all starts right now.
This year, the World Series of Bowling has moved from Detroit to here, the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. And today, we officially kick off the 52nd season of PBA action with the Brunswick Pro Bowling Cheetah Championship. Hope you're enjoying the tail end of your Thanksgiving weekend. Thrilled you're here with us, Rob Stone, and the newly elected PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson here with you. Congratulations, friend.
Thanks, Rob.
Long time coming. All right, how about we start strong?
Absolutely.
This season. If you like high scoring and the potential for a 300 game on television, today may be your show. 12 perfect games were thrown throughout qualifying this week on the Cheetah oil pattern. This is the first event of the World Series of Bowling, and the World Series of Bowling equals grueling bowling.
Maybe the most grueling event you and I have ever covered. The players throughout this competition have competed on all 5 of the named animal patterns. Each field was maxed out at 252 players, comprised of men, women, teenagers, 14 different countries represented here. And every telecast will feature a stepladder finals.
And here's a look at today's stepladder. We begin with Lonnie Waliczek versus Michael Haugen, both seeking their 3rd career title. Hall of Famer and defending champion Norm Duke, the marquee name here today as he goes for win number 34. The charismatic Ritchie, your 2 seed, and Eugene McCune, who absolutely dominated qualifying, sits in the fabled catbird seat. Now let's head it back to the lanes and the introductions.
The number 5 qualifier is a 2-time PBA Tour champion from Wichita, Kansas. The upgrade, Lonnie Waliczek 2.0.
So the Wichita, Kansas native will get us going here as we kick off the 52nd year of the PBA. And that's how we like to start off a season, my friend.
Well, Rob, it's been a long time for Lonnie, but it's nice to see him trip the 4 early.
The number 4 player owns some pair of PBA Tour titles, including 1 major from Carefree, Arizona, Michael Haugen Jr.
Well, Michael also doubles as the assistant coach of the men's bowling team at Arizona State. Trying to fire up the women's team. They need a few more competitors, so we told him we would do our job today to try and get some women bowlers to Arizona State.
Nice plug there, Rob.
Anytime. Back-to-back jacks to start off the 2010-2011 campaign. Take a look at Michael Haugen Jr.'s arsenal, what he has in his bowling ball bag today.
Well, he's going with the bank, which has the highest hook rating of the 3 choices. It's interesting that with all the friction to the outside part of the lane, he'd be using that ball.
So leaves the 10 pin. So Haugen remains clean.
Rob, this week was all about pin carry. It wasn't even an issue getting the ball to the pocket, but it was all about knocking 10 pins down when your ball did get there.
All right, we talked to Waliczek about the pin carry this week here on the Cheetah. His line, the pin carry was stupid good. Usually that's a good thing. So Lonnie perfect through 2, and we'll take a look at his arsenal for the afternoon.
Lonnie brought out 5 different pieces of equipment, and again, another player going with the highest hook rating. A lot of times you see players take a ball that hooks a lot, back their hand out of it, and let the dry part of the Cheetah oil pattern take the ball to the 1-3 pocket.
How did that 7 stay standing? Lonnie's asking the same question.
Well, this is just a bad break, and watch this. Again, in talking pin carry, Lonnie looking to take a big lead here with a 3-bagger, and the pin just jumps right over the top of the 7-pin.
Takes care of the 7, does Waliczek. Strike, strike, spare for Lonnie thus far. Well, joining us throughout the World Series of Bowling, former Miss USA winner Kimberly Pressler. And Kimberly, athletes find motivation in many forms. How did Michael Haugen Jr. find his?
Well, Michael Haugen Jr. has made his mark on the PBA Tour, including his comeback win in the 2008 Tournament of Champions. And he says he owes all his success to his grandfather.
I've been very athletic my whole life, but bowling's been the thing that I've been the best at, and I just stayed with it. Something about the one-on-one thing, and I'm good at it, I guess. And as a kid, my mom raised me, but I was around my grandparents all the time, and my grandfather would go every weekend, and I always wanted to go. And at 5, he said, "Okay, I'll take you," and I started shoveling it down, granny style, two hands. And I think when I was like 7 or so, I was one-stepping and throwing, and yeah, he's probably the closest person in my family to me, and obviously the one that got me started in bowling. And not having a father in my life growing up, he was very influential. My grandfather always taught me, that you're be thankful for everything you get in life, and you're not always going to win, so give the other guys due when they play better than you, and when it's your time to shine, be a gentleman, because your bowling will speak for itself. The trophies are sitting at his house. I won the Lake County in 2007, and then I won the 2008 TSC, and both the trophies are sitting on his TV at home. They'll stay there with him, for as long as he's around, so I can wait for him.
When we return, we wrap up match number 1 between Haugen and Waliczek. Glad you're back here with us at the South Point Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas as ESPN's presentation of the World Series of Bowling rolls on. Time now to know a little bit more about the wood today. The Lumber Liquidators know the wood with Randy.
The Cheetah oil pattern is the shortest of the 5 named animal patterns at only 35 feet in length. But take a look at this beautiful blue color right here. This represents the heaviest concentration of oil. But you notice if you look to the outside part of the lane, no blue. Why? Hey, no oil. Lots of friction to the outside. Now, don't kid yourself. This is not a typical house shot. Typically, your league or house shot is a 10-to-1 ratio. Bunch of oil in the middle to that dry. This is still a 2-to-1 ratio. But anytime you give our players friction to the outside part of the lane, they are going to destroy that oil pattern. And that's why the Cheetah is the highest scoring oil pattern on tour.
The lead at 11 pins for Michael Haugen Jr. as we finish out the 6th inning. Lonnie Waliczek, in his 11th year on the tour, just 2 Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour titles on his resume. This is 14th career TV singles appearance. Coming off a strike in the 5th, trying to get his 2nd pair of the day right here.
Rob, it's his first show since 2004, and it's good to see Lonnie back on the TV show. But he said it's been a struggle to try to get back to this position after losing his exemption, and it's been a long fight. But Lonnie feels like he deserves to be out here, and this is a comfortable position for him. Let's take a look at where Lonnie Waliczek is playing now. He's going to be playing the extreme outside part of the lane.
Waliczek, top of the 7th, down 11. And the two-time All-American from Wichita State University drops all 10 there.
If it weren't for back-to-back solid 7 pins, Lonnie would be in the lead right now. Remember, we talked about at the start of this match, it's not hard to get to the pocket, but you have to figure out how to get the ball to take all 10 out.
See what Michael has done through qualifying here. 240.42 average. And another strike for Michael. And Michael, how are the lanes playing for your style of bowling right now?
Right now they're pretty good. You got a little bit of room right, a little bit of room left. This left lane's a little bit of a bugger right now. Both qualifying on earlier this week, and left lane was a little weird. It's like called a little wedge dry. If you get it right early, it checks. If you get it in, it hangs. And as you can see, I can't get the 10 out on that lane, so I've got about 25 seconds to figure this out.
Michael moving to that left lane right now. He only has 1 strike on it so far.
And what's interesting is he was the higher seed, so he gets choice of starting lane and where he finishes. He chose to finish on the left lane. He's got this shot coming up here in the 8th, and then he has to finish the 10th on that lane.
5 strikes through 7 frames for Haugen.
Come on, come on, yeah! Come on now. How you like that, Larry? Come on now.
He was 88th after round 1, 12th after round 2, and then moved up to the number 4 seed. Big strike there in the 8th. As we take a look at some of the other finishers here at the Brunswick Pro Bowling Cheetah Championship, working our way down through the top 16 finishers. Big frame here for Waliczek in the 8th. Leaves the 10.
U.S. Open winner Bill O'Neill there. You saw Parker Bone III's name, Ronnie Russell. And I think what makes this competition so grueling is, remember, each field started with 252 players. They bowled 12 games of qualifying, and then the field was cut to only the top 16. I want to talk about a sprint.
So both bowlers remaining clean through 8 frames, but Haugen with the 21-pin advantage as we get set to kick off the 9th.
Lonnie Waliczek can strike out now for 228. Michael Haugen Jr. is already in the high 220s. But Lonnie's been in this position before, and he knows exactly what he needs to do, and that's to strike and put some pressure back on his opponent.
Waliczek down 21 as we begin the foundation frame 9th. Really needs to string some strikes here.
Really?
I don't think he liked it. That wasn't a confident, really. But the result he'll take.
Kept his hand under the back of the ball, and the ball just kind of faced up and rolled out right to the 1-3. So to show you the line that Lonnie Waliczek is playing, he's playing that extreme outside part of the lane, nice and straight. Watch this ball just kind of roll out and stop right there at the 1-3.
Here's Haugen, first year back from a partial thickness tear of the ACL in his left knee, wearing a new and improved brace on that knee. The brace seems to be working just fine. There's 3 in a row for Haugen.
Let's take a look at the way Michael Haugen Jr. is playing it now, very similar to where Lonnie Waliczek is. And you can see that extreme straight shot, extreme outside part of the lane. Michael Haugen Jr. loves to go straight and hard, and that's why I'm a little bit surprised that he's never had a lot of success on the Cheetah oil pattern.
Only 2 Lumber Liquidator, PBA Tour titles for Haugen, one of them a major, 2008 TOC here in Vegas. And that's all she wrote. And your
Sorry,
4
Lonnie.
seed,
Bowled a pretty
Michael
good game.
Haugen Jr. will move on. Only 31 times has a PBA title been successfully defended. Norm Duke with a chance to make it 32. Storm and Norman, your 3 seed when we return.
Welcome back to the World Series of Bowling from the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. This World Series is the greatest bowling festival in the history of the sport. A chance for any of the 4,000 PBA members from all walks of life to come together here in Las Vegas. Now we're down to the best of the best. Next up, last year's Cheetah champion and Hall of Famer, Norm Duke.
Norm Duke will be taking on Michael Haugen Jr. Haugen moving on to match number 2, courtesy of that 248-228 victory over Lonnie Waliczek.
Right at it now.
Michael with 8 strikes in that match, had a 3-bagger and what the kids call a hambo as well. So here he is in match number 2, taking on Norm Duke, and Haugen Jr. will get us going first.
I missed that.
You're not the only one, my friend.
The number 3 qualifiers, 5th on the all-time PBA Tour titles list with 33 from Claremont, Florida, PBA Hall of Famer Norm Duke.
Norm also the defending champ in this event. You go back to last year's World Series of Bowling. He was taking on Ryan Simonelli, and in game 2 of a best-of-7 match, he was down 42 pins.
How many, Rob?
42.
42 pins.
How many?
And storm back to win. Norm powers through the rack in frame number 1.
Both players bringing out the high hard one on the Cheetah Championship oil pattern here. That ball straight and hard for Norm Duke. Right around first arrow, just like Michael Haugen Jr. is playing him.
Norm, already a Hall of Famer. We gave you your congrats earlier in the show for being elected to the Class of 2011 Hall of Fame, joining Dale Eagle, senior standout, and former PBA lane maintenance director Len Nicholson. Congrats to all 3 of you guys.
Thanks, Rob.
A little bit through the nose there for Norm, and the 10 is resilient.
Well, this is the same lane that gave Lonnie Waliczek fits in the last match. Lonnie leading back-to-back solid 9s. You see, there's just a little bit more back-end transition on that lane. That ball drifts high, leaving the 10.
Michael Haugen in his 11th career TV singles appearance, seeking his 3rd career title. Native of Carefree, Arizona, taking on one of the legends of the game, Norm Duke. Michael looking strong early on.
Because of his lower rev rate, he can keep that ball on line. You see the nice soft entry angle into the 1-3. This guy may not miss for a while with that type of ball reaction.
And he mentioned to us the other day, he really hasn't had a lot of success in the past on the Cheetah oil pattern, but for some reason, with the friction here at South Point, it seemed to really help him out and kind of hurt some others.
Yeah, and again, Rob, I'm real surprised that he hasn't had a lot of success on this oil pattern, because remember, we saw Norm Duke win this tournament throwing it nice and hard and straight from out. Michael Haugen Jr. loves to go straight from out.
So you would think it would be a nice combination for him. I actually won my last title on this Cheetah oil pattern, throwing it real straight and real fast from out. And I mean, that's kind of the MO of this oil pattern. I haven't seen a lot of guys hook it a lot and have a lot of success, although there's been a few. But there's two ways to play it: straight and hard from out, or you got to throw it with some angle into the drive.
So Haugen remains clean, not just for this match, but for the entire afternoon. And when we return, something I did not know, something Randy did not know, something I bet you out there did not know about Norm Duke. Do you want to give them a hint?
No.
Okay. Nothing but strikes since we left you here in Vegas. Norm Duke shattering the rack there.
Love the way the 6-pin went to the sidewall and carved that 10 out like that.
So Norm Duke through 5.5, just dropped the ham bone on top by 11. It's not the same when I can't yell it.
No, it certainly doesn't have the same effect.
Not at all. So here's Michael Haugen looking for a 3-bagger here in the bottom of the 6th, down 11 pins to the Hall of Famer.
Michael Haugen just ran into a Hall of Fame buzzsaw. This ball goes high, leaving the 4-pin. Spoken before. And you know what, Rob? You know what that is right there? That's your opponent throwing a 4-bagger at you. That's called pressure. You start feeling it a little bit, usually around the neck area.
Second 9 spare of this match for Haugen Jr. Had one in the 3rd and there in the 6th. So the lead at 12 as we begin the 7th. Oof. Late drop of the 10. Avoided an ugly effort here.
Yeah, this is a huge break. He almost leaves a 4-7-10 right here going through the face. And watch this ball check a little bit early. Goes right through the nose. And that could have been a big, ugly split.
Takes care of the 4, does Haugen. Haugen last won, ironically enough, here in Las Vegas. It was the H&R Block Tournament of Champions in late January of 08. Up now, here's Norm Duke, bottom of the 7th, and here are his ball selections for the afternoon.
And interesting, remember we saw Lonnie using his strongest ball. Michael Haugen Jr. is using the strongest ball in his arsenal. Norm Duke going with a tropical heat, the weakest or less reactive ball in his arsenal.
Another dominant strike there by Norm Duke. And, you know, we learn something every week, Randy, about our friends here on the PBA. We learned something very new about that man, Norm Duke, this week. You know what? From now on, we can just call him the Bob Villa of bowling.
Because?
Listen and find out.
I like to build stuff. You know, I got stuff in my garage that, you know, I start from scratch. I design it all on my own. I built my son this really elaborate over-under twin bed, you know, where he's got a fort underneath it. He has a twin on top, and it's all made of wood with drawers everywhere. And I hand make all the drawers and paint the stuff. And when my wife and I first met, and we were living in Oklahoma, because we had rental properties, most of the work that we do in our rentals, we do ourselves. And I fell for it then. You know, once you learn how to do drywall and patchwork, get into the plumbing, even some electricity, come on. Well, that's kind of what taught me that it's something that I enjoy. So now, you know, I've built myself a golf club, you know, holder. You can buy them, you know, $150 on the, but now mine's like the Tim Toolman golf club holder. It's it's got all the bells and whistles and stuff. And you know, I made a little bench out of a lane, out of an actual bowling lane. It's in my garage. It's my work bench. You know, when you have some free time, I like to be creative that way. I like to use my hands, and I love to use tools. So to get all by yourself and do something that requires some thinking, I'm into that.
Norm also a landlord now, and he puts that woodworking abilities to use there with the duplex that he's the landlord for.
I had no idea he was so handy.
Well, we know he's a heck of a bowler, and another strike for Norm Duke.
Well, with that hit right there, he's got a 6-bagger, and he takes a 33-pin lead, but Norm Duke has made a fortune throwing the ball straight and fast the last 3, 4, 5 years out here on tour, man. He went to that real soft, kind of a florist shot at release, you know, that real soft touch. Man, he's made a killing out here.
The florist touch.
Yeah, it's kind of like a florist.
I like that.
There's Haugen responding with a strike of his own to close out the 8th. The lead at 33, though, for Norm Duke.
Michael Haugen Jr. maxes out at 247. If he strikes out 8th, 9th, and 10th, Norm Duke could go 9 spare, strike, spare, and this would be all over.
Haugen can max out at 247, Norm at a 280.
Another strike there for Haugen there in the 9th. Next week, it's the Pepsi Viper Championship, the second event of this, the PBA World Series. Hall of Famer Leno Monticelli, reigning U.S. Open champ Bill O'Neill, 2-time winner Mike Devaney, former PBA player of the year Tommy Jones, and first-time TV finalist Andres Gomez of Colombia is your tournament leader. It's fun to talk like Andres.
Andres sounds a lot like Sosa from Scarface, and he's a great guy. I've known him forever.
Looking for 7 in a row, and finding it is Duke. And he's taken some nails out from his little woodworking area and putting those final nails in the coffin for Michael Haugen right now.
And he just loves this right here. He just brings out the heater and just pipes it right at the 1-3, that real flat, soft floor touch at the bottom of the swing. And, you know, there's not a lot you need to do to the bowling ball when you have this much friction to the outside part of the lane.
8 will be enough to shut out Haugen.
So he gets that 8th strike, and it is all over but the shouting for that man. So Michael Haugen Jr. will not get his 3rd title. Norm Duke will continue his pursuit of his 34th title, which would tie him for 4th most in PBA history with Mark Roth. And when our coverage of the World Series of Bowling returns, we'll go video gaming, PBA style.
If you like bowling but don't have an alley in your basement like me, then you need to check out Brunswick Pro Bowling by Crave Games. This highly anticipated game brings fans the most realistic bowling experience ever.
Oh, that's good. Oh, make it.
It sure looks like the real thing. The game offers 6 lifelike bowling environments.
That's pretty good again.
Roll on accurate oil patterns, unlock hidden bonuses.
You're killing me here.
Earn trophies on your way to your very own virtual world championship. As Ronnie Russell and Sean Rass demonstrate, the game is as fun for pros as beginners, and for bowling fans of all ages.
Why are you cheering for him? Purple? I can't beat my 6-year-old on it. He seems to have a lot more fun than I do because he strikes a lot and I throw a lot in the gutter, just like I'm doing in this game right now.
I'll let him have the advantage. He practices, you know, he's got kids. You know, I don't have any kids yet. You know, I don't get a chance to lose to my kids all the time. So, I think I'm going to win this time.
Oh, way to be clutch.
I thought I was going to strike. All right.
Oh, that's good. Oh!
You just saw the pros playing, and you guys can simulate the same conditions at home on this game, or you can make it a little bit easier for someone like me to play. But one thing is for sure, I have a dollar that says, Rob, Randy, I can take you both.
Hey, Rob, can I borrow $1?
Well played, Randall. Well played. So Norm Duke in match number 2 has your high score for the afternoon thus far, a 269-247 victory over Michael Haugen Jr. The perfect fit for the PBA fan who wants more is the Tour's online video subscription service. It's called Extra Frame. It features live streaming from PBA Regional, Senior, and Lumber Liquidators Tour events. Other Extra Frame features include product reviews, exclusive player interviews, and more. Head on over to PBA.com and click on the Extra Frame link to get started right now. And when we return, you'll see that man, number 2 seed Ritchie Allen, in action and learn his response to the question, what did you work on in the offseason, Ritchie? His response, it's a classic. Trust me. Match number 3 set to tee off. The Hall of Famer Norm Duke versus your number 2 seed Ritchie Allen. Duke up first on the left lane. Leaves the 10. Again, Norm, the defending champion here at the Cheetah Championship.
Last game shoots 269, a very unassuming 269, and right here starts with a soft 10.
Told us Tate really wants to start strong out of the gate, and a victory here would do just that. So spare in the first for Duke, and now the introduction for your number 2 seed, Ritchie Allen.
The number 2 player owns 2 national PBA Tour titles from Columbia, South Carolina, THB, Ritchie Allen.
I heard Mike J call him THB, short for typical house bowler, which is what somebody called him one time. And he said, okay, I'll take that challenge and I'll put it on ink and I'll put it on my body. He's got a THB tat on that finely chiseled Columbia, South Carolina body of Ritchie Allen. One of the great personalities on the tour. Misses the head pin badly there.
1, 2, 4, 6, 10, washout.
You know, Rob, somebody once called me Pizza Face Randy in high school, but I didn't get that tattooed on my body. And you're not going to see Ritchie Allen trying to attack this Cheetah oil pattern completely different. He's going to try to hook it. He's hooked it all week long. And the first shot right out of the gate, the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 washout.
Well, if you're going to face a washout, the first frame is the one to do it in, unless it mentally cripples you for the rest of the match.
That's a good point.
Yeah! Big pickup for Allen. Take your bow, Ritchie. I like it.
Well, there's 2 schools of thought on trying to convert this washout. One is trying to throw a strike ball. The other is getting the ball to the left side of the head pin. But Ritchie Allen, nice break here, getting the pin off the sidewall and converts. And right now, it's a spare in the first frame for both players.
All tied up. Allen, your leader after the second round of qualifying. Just 2 career tour titles. And here's Allen's arsenal for the afternoon.
Going with the Mission, something that's right in between his strongest bowling ball and something just a little bit softer. The Mission 9.0 hook rating.
Woo! Some double wood there, and he is dancing with that gutter.
2 different angles of attack you're going to see Ritchie Allen. He's going to be playing in and trying to circle the ball more. We've seen Norm Duke play that straighter shot. Right now, Ritchie trying to get lined up and use that friction to the right. Both shots have been light.
Chops down the double wood, so back-to-back spares to open up our de facto semifinal game for Allen. And here is Norm Duke in his 105th career TV Finals appearance. Again, 33 tour titles, He has one. A win today would tie him for 4th most in PBA history with Mark Roth, and he told us today that has been the major motivation this week for him. Still seeking a strike here in our semis, and Norm will be fortunate to get a spare here in the second.
And Norm's been having some approach issues on this right lane, and anytime you start seeing Norm come up and out of a shot like that, he's either throwing it too fast or he's having problems with the approaches.
First open frame of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's one thing you don't see a whole lot on the Cheetah oil pattern is open frames, because generally the 4 or 5 superstars that you have on the telecast are players that never had trouble getting their ball to strike.
Now, speaking of trouble, how about trouble in Las Vegas for Norm Duke? Think of all the cities the PBA has been to and how many times they've been in Las Vegas. Norm has never won here. That kind of stuck in his craw today when we talked to him about it.
You know, Rob, there's a lot of people that have never won in Las Vegas.
A lot of people have never won.
Oh, wait a minute.
The United States of America.
Wait a minute. You're talking about a bowling tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, good point.
The conclusion of the Alan Duke semifinal, and Randy answers a fan question when ESPN's coverage of the World Series of Bowling returns to Las Vegas. Here at the World Series of Bowling, and this is what happened while you were gone. 4th frame, Ritchie Allen through the nose.
4-9 split. Right when he had the lead in the match after Duke's open, all of a sudden Duke comes back working on a double and goes big 4, gives it right back to Ritchie Allen. You can't believe it.
And then Allen gives it right back to Norm Duke.
Just this back and forth of open frames, and this is something you would never expect on the Cheetah oil pattern.
And we talked high scoring throughout the week. We had 12 perfect games here, and suddenly in the semifinals, Ritchie Allen and Norm Duke just absolutely struggling here as we get set to close out the 6th. Duke up 4, coming off an open frame 8 in the 5th frame. Nobody has really taken this match by a stranglehold yet. Duke with a chance. And a timely strike for Duke. Voted the 7th greatest player in PBA history a few years ago, and that strike shows you why.
And Rob, it's really hard to say which lane Norm prefers over the other, because he's got open frames on both the right and left lane.
Only 3 strikes for Duke, 2 on the right, 1 on the left.
This is a big shot coming up, because this is a shot right after his big 4 that he left in the 5th frame.
On that left lane. Back-to-back jacks for Storm and Norman. And what a response to that big 4.
And that's why he's a Hall of Famer. He made the proper adjustment, and he made it with conviction. And he was able to perform perfectly after that devastating big 4 in the 5th.
Allen, only 1 strike. It came on the right lane in the 3rd. Gets them all to drop right there. One of my favorite things I like to ask the bowlers, Randy, as the season begins is, what did you work on in the offseason? So I asked Ritchie Allen, Ritchie, what did you work on in the offseason? Without missing a beat, making a baby.
I'm so looking forward to March. That this is just, I'm here for the week. I'm bowling. I'm trying to make some money. I'm trying to do what I do, and everything. This is all secondary. I'm just waiting until March gets here, so to actually start life anew. A different standard of life. I'm not just a bowler anymore. I'm gonna be a father. Looks like a little astronaut floating around in space, kinda. Just a half little me. It's wild. A lot of diaper changes. I know that. So I mean, and I a new friend to play with. That's probably the thing I'm most excited about. Hanging out at home, playing with the little one. Just being a dad.
Kind of put me in the tracks for a little bit there. So Ritchie and his wife Sarah expecting their first child in March, a little girl that they intend to name Bailey. So congratulations to the Allen family. He did his work in the offseason.
Very nice.
And there's another strike for Allen. So everybody's starting to find their groove right now.
Ritchie Allen making a ball change, going to a vital energy, which is a little less aggressive than what he started with, but now after the ball change he went 10-pin and then followed up with a double. Now Norm Duke looking for 3 in a row.
And the two-time PBA Player of the Year finds that triple. The lead to 14 through 8. And one of Norm's biggest fans in attendance here. Here's Kimberly Presser with a special guest.
Norm Duke has been part of the PBA Tour for almost 30 years now, and I am with Martha, his mother, and you are a very familiar face around here. How many of these shows have you actually been to?
Maybe 25, a little over.
Well, I see that Carolyn is with you, which is his aunt, and she's normally with you as well, right?
Yes, she and my other sister, and sometimes my son.
Well, you are clearly his biggest fan. Do you still get a little nervous?
Oh, it's so hard sitting here. It's unbelievable.
Well, thank you, and good luck to you guys today.
Thank you.
Through 8, Duke on top by 14, rolling in front of his mom. Gets the ball to drop.
Out for 229.
Allen in the 9th. Very light on that head pin.
Ritchie went with the ball reaction and the shape of shot that he's used all week, which is in, opening it up, and throwing to the dry part of the lane. And today, it wasn't the right combination. Straighter definitely is greater on the telecast today for Cheetah.
And another huge spare conversion. He's had 2 epic conversions in this match.
Unfortunately, it's too little too late. The best he can shoot is 192. As you see Ritchie Allen converting the 2-4-10 perfectly. Left side of the 2-pin, throwing it over into the 10 and nicely done. Norm Duke already in the 200s. He will just need a mark if Ritchie Allen strikes out in the 10th frame.
Strike number 1, trying to put some pressure on the Hall of Famer is Allen, who last won late January of '06 in Phoenix. Just 2 Lumber Liquidator PBA Tour titles for Allen, and first competitor right now, Duke, 33. And quickly closing in on 34 is Duke. Drops a deuce there in the 10th.
And Norm doesn't even need a mark, Rob. He just needs good count. A lot of open frames and more open frames than you would expect. The lane's going through a little bit of transition after the first 2 games. Michael Haugen Jr. is probably thinking to himself, wow, I just averaged 247. I'm not bowling anymore. And where was this Norm?
So a good conclusion for your 2 seed. Ritchie Allen drops all 3 in the 10th.
Eight pins on the first ball, and that's all she wrote. Norm Duke will bowl for the title, the Cheetah Championship once again.
Little how's your father there on the release. Drops all 10, and Norm 1 win away from defending his title. So our title match uninterrupted is next, and we'll elaborate on the number 1 seed, Eugene McCune's historic qualifying stampede leading up to the Cheetah Championship. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, welcoming you back to our continuing coverage of the World Series of Bowling. Time now for the Geico Championship recap. Randall.
Well, Rob, I'll tell you one little piggy that didn't cry wee all the way home. It's that guy right there, Michael Haugen Jr., taking down Lonnie Waliczek, 248, 228. His consolation prize for that victory, gets to take on a Hall of Famer. You think Norm Duke liked that last shot?
A little bit.
Yeah, 269, 247 winner for Duke. Then in the third match, how about that big trip 4-pin en route to a 7-bagger? Norm Duke takes down Ritchie Allen, 229, 192.
So that's how we got to where we are right now. The 3 seed, Norm Duke, set to take on your number 1 seed, Eugene McCune. And we bring in Kimberly now. And Kimberly, Eugene just absolutely destroyed history earlier this week.
That's right, Rob. History was made this week when Eugene McCune broke Walter Ray Williams Jr.'s 9-game scoring record in the Cheetah match play round. He knocked down 2,468 pins for an average of 274. McCune also threw 2 perfect 300s in the effort. That's pretty amazing, guys.
Bookended by 300 games. Yeah, that's more than impressive. And here's the introduction for Eugene.
The tournament leader has 1 national and 18 regional PBA titles from Munster, Indiana, the Rocket, Eugene McCune.
McCune, your number 1 seed here at the Cheetah Championship. That ball gets there in a hurry.
With bad intentions. I can't remember the last time a player has ever averaged 274 for 9 games. Because it's never happened.
Oh, he broke Walter Ray Williams Jr. record
Shattered.
by 101 pins. Yeah. Audacious.
The last performance I can recall like that was Bob Learn Jr. back in Erie, Pennsylvania. Television show. It was only for 4 games where Bob Learn averaged almost 280.
Norm's first effort here in the title match. Duke a schmidge heavy here.
Yeah, luckily only losing the 6-10 and not the 4-7 with it.
Norm cleans that one up, and time now for the more of what matters to you fan question, brought to you by the makers of One A Day. All right, Randy, Extra Frames Jackie Bowling mentioned the bowler's burn session during qualifying. What does she mean by burn session?
Well, what she means and what the players mean is that the players are competing on lanes that haven't been re-oiled. So once the players have qualified for bowled their first 6-game block, they come back and bowl another 6-game block on lanes that haven't been touched.
Duke a strike in the second.
The burn refers to the amount of friction that has now been created from all the bowling balls going down the lanes for 6 games without being re-oiled. And so that forces the players to the far inside or deepest part of the lane to try to find more oil, thus referring to the burn.
Bam! Back-to-back opening jacks for McCune.
Well, this is one of Eugene's favorite shots to play, really fast from the extreme outside part of the lane.
He told us both in his interview, Rob, this is his A game. Not a lot of adjustments that need to be made when he's playing this line. You can see he's brought only 2 bowling balls out, going with the taboo.
This is his first time ever as a number 1 seed. Last year, the top seed in Stepladder finals only went 2-5. McCune seeking his second ever Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour title. I always love the angry spare ball. One of my favorites on the tour.
The angry spare ball.
Only 31 times has somebody defended a PBA Tour title. Norm has done it once. Defended the World Championship, ironically enough, in 08 and in 08, the way that schedule worked out that year. Norm sounds like he's on the tennis courts today with the grunt we've been hearing from him lately.
It's a heck of a shot. It's a heck of a shot right there. Heck of a shot. Squared up right here.
Skims the 10 down into the pits. There's a look up at the title match here at the Brunswick Pro Bowling Cheetah Championship. Bit of a discrepancy in a lot of those numbers between the two finalists. Strike there to open up the fourth for Duke.
And ironically, Eugene McCune's only title came in 2002 and actually beat Norm Duke on that telecast en route to claiming his first victory.
The Banquet Classic in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Not only did he beat Norm Duke, he also took down Walter Ray Williams Jr. en route to his only tour title. McCune up 9, bottom of the fourth. And Eugene, maybe with some more good mojo this week. His father, Don, works at Sunset Station Pro Shop just here in Vegas. Able to spend a lot of time with his dad. Whoa! Almost lost his balance and gets a fortunate break. And there is instant replay this season on the PBA Tour, but it did not appear there was any violation, Randy.
Yeah, I didn't see if he fouled or not because of all the people in front of us, but it doesn't appear as though he did. Let's take a look. Boy, he did his best not to go head first, and a nice break, only leaving the 4-6. Mark 17, PBA foul line official, says there was no infraction.
So McCune picks up the spare in the fifth, lead at 9. Here's Norm Duke. 2 strikes in this championship match. 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth. Looking for his first pair here as he is on the right lane. You see what he's done today on that right lane. 11 of 14 have been strikes. And another strike on the right lane.
Well, the thing about a player like Norm Duke is you don't want to give him a lot of opportunities, Rob. When you have him down, you need to keep him down. You need to keep a foot on his neck. But if you give him enough time and you let him hang around long enough, he will figure out a way to beat you.
Again, last year, he was down big in game number 2 of this Cheetah Championships to Ryan Simonelli. Rallied big time and then just kept on storming through to get that title.
How many pins down was he?
42.
Too much finesse on that left lane and that shot right there in particular. And that ball had 0 on it in terms of angle.
Talked to Norm before the telecast, asked him about his goals this year, and he was quick, you know, same as every year, win player of the year. But to do it, you have to get out to a quick start and win some majors. This would be a quick start for Norm, who's even as his mom watches. McCune up now, bottom of the 6th. And the rocket set to fire down the right lane. The sound those pins make, startling.
Yeah, no issues with his footing there. That great camera work. This is going to be really fast. And there's not a lot left on the pin deck when Eugene McCune's throwing it like that.
It's like some heat vapors, maybe. Some dust and a lot of pain.
It's creating a little bit of a vortex as that ball goes through the pin. Just kind of sucks the rest of them right off the deck.
Take a look now at the PBA World Championship standings. Top 8 after the first 5 shows here at the World Series of Bowling will automatically qualify for the first major of the year, the PBA World Championship, which will be seen January 14th, 15th, and 16th. Right back here at South Point. One there at 6 right now. McCune to kickstart the 7th.
2 in a row for the Rocket.
Boy,
Make the right move.
And who can forget how excited and how exciting it was to watch Eugene win his first title. You want to talk about getting animated. It had been a long time for him and his career.
His 25th year on the tour. This just his 12th singles appearance on television. The Hall of Famer, Norm Duke, in the 7th. Down 10. And Norm keeps things tight.
And there's the sign of a veteran, no emotion. You know, he knows that it's not time to celebrate yet. He's down by 10, needs to keep his emotions in check, and needs to make the proper adjustment on this left lane. The left lane seems to be the issue between the two, and Norm Duke has to finish the 10th frame on that left lane.
Although he does have 2 strikes here in the finals on that left lane.
Make it 3 on the left.
Well, just a great shot right here. And what I want you to see is I want you to see the second pin to the right over here, the 6th pin. It's going to go to the sidewall and just take the 10 out. This is a bowler's best friend. If you're right-handed, this is perfect pin carry. Bang.
Cutting the knees out on the 10.
Exactly.
A little chop block. All even through 7.5. McCune in the 8th.
Push, push, push. Boom. Right, baby. That's right.
Here it comes.
Come on now.
One more. We're going to have a little bit of an eruption out of Mount McCune.
One here. Come on.
I'll tell you what, I think it's a mystery to myself and a lot of players out here. The fact that Eugene's only won 1 tournament. He's a very versatile player, can hook it, can throw it slow and circle the entire lane, and obviously he likes to throw it straight and hard.
6 strikes through the opening 8 frames. 3 in a row, looking for 4.
Yeah! Hambo! Taboo, baby!
Yeah, it feels good too, Eugene.
There's his dad, Don. Right now, Eugene McCune cannot be shut out in the 10th frame. He can strike out for 259. The best Norm Duke can shoot right now is 249. To have any chance to win his 2nd consecutive Cheetah Championship, Norm Duke will have to strike out in the 9th and 10th frame.
Duke, 5 strikes here at the title match, working on 2 in a row. Critical ball here in the 9th, and he gets all 10 to drop.
If Norm Duke strikes out in the 10th frame, he will force Eugene McCune to double in the 10th. needs all three for 249. That would force Eugene to double. If he did not, Norm Duke will defend his Cheetah championship successfully. He's only successfully defended once.
2008 PBA World Championship.
And has never won in Vegas. I remember you saying that.
First effort of the 10th. Gives him a 4-bagger.
And if you're Eugene McCune, you're watching this and you're expecting Norm Duke to strike out. You're preparing yourself mentally to say, hey, he's going to strike out. I know exactly what I have to do. I got to step up in the 10th frame and throw 2 strikes to win.
McCune having to sit and wait to see what Duke will do here in the 10th. Already 1 strike for the Hall of Famer. McCune trying to earn just his 2nd ever PBA Tour title. Oof.
Eugene McCune now needs 9, spare 9 to capture his 2nd career title.
Norm cleans that one up. Knew he had a big chance to apply massive amounts of pressure to McCune.
Excuse me, Rob. He needs 9 spare strike to capture his 2nd career title.
Norm done with a 237. Well, there's your 9.
He's got to spare it and then
strike it.
All 10 to win by 1. If he gets 9, we have a tie. Right now, Eugene's like, hey, I'm not making it easy on myself here. I've dominated this tournament. All I've done all week long is throw strikes.
This is what it's all about. You gotta make a good shot.
Strike for the title. 9.
Come on now.
And bonus bowling.
Anything less, Norm Duke wins sitting on the bench.
Somebody get that phone call?
Take your time, baby. Take your time.
You know, throw a strike here. Come on.
Dad is fired up. A great win for Eugene McCune. He dominated the Cheetah all week long, and the #1 seed gets his 2nd tour title.
And great tournament. That can't be kind, man. We bowl each other. It's a pin, ain't it? Unbelievable.
That's a great shot.
Clutch when it counted. McCune 238. 237 over Norm Duke, and we'll put a bow on the Brunswick Pro Bowling Cheetah Championship when our coverage returns to Las Vegas. Eugene McCune wins his 2nd ever Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour title with this closing strike in the 10th. The Munster, Indiana native Eugene McCune with the one-pin victory over Norm Duke. He had 8 strikes in the title match. This, the most important of them all. His 8th and final, and the final shot of the day. Dad, Don, celebrating, and Eugene down on the floor with Kimberly Pressler.
It all came down to one last ball, the most important strike of the week for you, Eugene. What was going through your mind?
Just, you know, this is what we bowl for, to make that shot when we need it. And first when I threw a hair slow, I said, I ain't doing throwing slow again. I just went through the ball, and the ball went high flush, and I said, thank God, hammer balls work.
And you were over there celebrating with your dad. How special is it to have him here?
It was awesome. I mean, that first time I won, he wasn't able to get there. He was in Tennessee or Vegas, and my family was there, so I couldn't get my family here, so then my dad was here, so that was nice to have family.
Well, congratulations to you on your 2nd title victory.
Thank you.
Big win for the Rocket. Next week, we are still here in Las Vegas. It's the Pepsi Viper Championship loaded field, Randy, including reigning U.S. Open champ Bill O'Neill, Andres Gomez, Hall of Famer Amleto Monicelli, and former player of the year Tommy Jones. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a spectacular telecast. A lot of talent, a lot of firepower, a lot of strikes are going to be thrown for that telecast.
What impressed you the most about McCune this week?
I think his composure. You know, there were some distractions before he got up to throw that very last ball, and he didn't let it get to him. He stayed focused, stayed in his game plan, and he delivered the knockout blow when he needed to. He threw the biggest shot of the week when he had to. He proved that he's a winner.
McCune had a huge week. He had 2 300s through qualifying, and he wins his 2nd ever PBA Tour title. For Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.